Willie, what's your experience like in the disease manifesting itself?
A huge one for me, and you mentioned this one also in your story, is I can get highly addicted to exercise. And I get super excited about new information, right? And so what ended up happening, and it took me a long time, it took me years and years to finally get on a spiritual fitness routine that's not physical and mentally based, where I think I'm going to get to a point where I look a certain way that I'm going to be accepted and loved, right? Because part of my disease is this feeling inside of my mind that I don't add up physically, that my self-worth is based on, my physical appearance or something of that nature. And so I go through all these different all these different brands of diet and fitness, and when it doesn't work out, I end up feeling like defeated and deflated, and I go back to what comforts me for the moment, whether it's pornography or food, which are the two big ones for me in sobriety, that I've had to work on continuously over and over again. I go back to one of those things that satisfy the flavor for the moment, and it never lasts. And then I get a new I get a new blade of information that excites me again, and I'm almost just as addicted to the feeling of that new excitement that I think something's going to work, as much as I am trying it for the first time, And so fitness was a big one for me, and I had to really try a bunch of different stuff, and I had to be completely open about it, and I had to have a lot of ups and downs, but I used it alcoholically, thinking that it's going to get me someplace that I'll finally feel worthy of love, and that's just one of them for me, because I, like you, the food was huge. I think, and we've shared about this. I think I used food before I used alcohol to curb that same monster inside of me. That was the comfort thing. My mom gave me food as a symbol of love. Like if I was sad, she would get me something sweet, or if that was my reward all the time, or that was my special thing at my birthday or whatever. And so food became really comforting for me until it stopped.
Yeah.
And I started using food alcoholically, and then I started using exercise alcoholically to try to combat the food that I was using alcohol.
Right. Well, and I think that's an interesting one, especially exercise, because and I've been there as well. Like I also have that as a part of my story, where I am just completely obsessed with fitness, with exercise. And I think that it's an interesting one, because when you look at somebody and you see that they're incredibly fit, you would never think like that person has a problem. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's not as easy to navigate as alcohol. Like obviously my alcoholism has drastic consequences, but you're going to tell me that like there's something wrong with me, like exercising and going to the gym like all the time. And so let's talk about that a little bit. I want to unpack that a little bit, because I think that like when we say that, like, what are we talking about? Like, what about exercise or fitness what does that look like when we're doing it alcoholically?